Monday and I've had a really shit day. Like, I wanted to kickstart week 2 of the Readathon with some really cool stuff, and instead I've just ended up like in a really bad mood, and I had to do a skills test for my PGCE, which is the teaching qualification that I want to do. And I basically have to do a literacy and a numeracy test. I booked today to do the literacy test. When I got there, it turned out that their system had my name printed very slightly wrong, which meant I'm not allowed to sit the exam until my details have been corrected. And it's not in my hometown, it's in the next town over in Nottingham. So that was like a 50-minute to an hour-long journey spoil because I didn't actually get to do what I went there to do, which was annoying. On the plus side, I got a new book today. I've just left it upstairs and I'm now in my living room, so I'm probably not going to go and grab that. But it's called The Ace of Spades by Amanda Foody. I've only read the blurb and it was a recommendation for me by a lady that worked at the local bookstore there. The lady at the shop described it as basically being New Orleans meets Las Vegas multiplied by 10, adding some magic, which sounded pretty cool. I thought that could be an intriguing read, and I've ended up actually swapping one of the books that I was going to read this month out for that. So one of the books I was hoping to get to is History of Magic. The acceptable grade is to read a fantasy. So originally I put Temeraire by Naomi Novik, but this book seemed really cool. So I've decided to swap that out instead. So I will be reading The Ace of Shades for my History of Magic. That one is an additional added on to what I have to read for my career. So it's just nice. It means that I'll get a few more grades in there. I've also started my first book for Charms, which is Ink by Alice Broadway. And so far I'm really enjoying it. The main character wants to become an inker, so someone who tattoos life stories onto people, and it's kind of like in a world where everybody has these tattoos on them. So everyone has the family tree on their back, they have on their left arm any sort of misdemeanors, and like if they've been prosecuted it gets marked on them. Their name gets marked on them, and on their right arm they have like the mark of what their job is. And then basically life events and personal marks get added throughout their lives. And then when you die, your skin is flayed and gets turned into these books that you can then basically, your family then keep those so that anytime they can just look at their ancestors and be able to read their ancestors' history. However, there's also some people called the blanks, who are people who long ago decided they did not want these tattoos, they didn't want to be marked, because it means then that everything's on display, you cannot hide anything. So as you can imagine, it's kind of led to a bit of mistrust between the two people, because the Incas see the blanks as, well, what have they got to hide? And they've been told that since the blanks were evicted from their society, that like crime rates have gone down and people aren't being cheated anymore. But then as the book's going on, not Alice, because her name is not Alice, Leora discovers that there might be a bit more to things, and that maybe the ink is there to control the population, and that being blank might not be such a bad thing. There's also people called the Unforgotten. So these are people who have done something wrong in the past. Either they've stolen someone's skin so that that person isn't recognised, or they've been a criminal, or anything like that. But people who've done wrong get marked with a crow. And Leor discovers after her father dies that he once had a crow tattoo that had been removed. And then she meets Oscar, whose father just got arrested and marked with a crow to be an Unforgotten because he stole Leor's father's skin. And so now they're kind of like working together, because she's just found out that her dad's skin book has been confiscated. So she's now desperately trying to figure out why. She's also just started her apprenticeship with an inker who has just revealed to her, currently on sort of page 250, and like he's just revealed something. I'm not going to spoil things, but he's just revealed something pretty big and told her this, and she's kind of gone into a bit of a moral dilemma now. So the rest of the book, I assume, is going to be going into that and her uncovering things. There's also a sequel to it, but again, it's one that I'll read after this month. But I was drawn to this book because I think the cover is absolutely stunning. But yeah, that's where I'm at so far. And yeah, I'll just keep you guys up to date on where I am with both of those. And yeah, looking forward to carrying on my readathon. Trying this blog thing again because I've tried to record twice now and it's not worked. So, last night I completed my first owl. Yay! No, I did not. I got an outstanding in my first newt even. Yay! And yeah, so Care of Magical Creatures, I now have an outstanding. It was the only outstanding I needed and I'm really happy about that. So I've now moved on. I've started my charms, which I've done. I'm reading Alice Broadway's Ink for that. I've also started the Ace of Shades by, I can't remember the first name, but her surname is Foodie. The book's downstairs and I don't really want to go downstairs right now because my legs hurt. So I've got those to read and I am doing really well for progress. So I've done 3 books in 5 days, which even for me, that's quite an achievement. So looking forward to carrying on and seeing how many I can get through. As for the rest of today, I'm going to be doing quite a lot of playing with photography because the lighting for once in my study is doing okay. So I'm going to get some photography done. And if I just turn my camera around, I need to do some tidying because this room is getting ridiculous. So yeah, I'm going to get on with that. I'm going to get dressed because because I've not been awake for very long and I am still technically in my pyjamas, which is why I've got no makeup on and look like hell. So yeah, on with the day and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. I finished Ink earlier. It was pretty good. The ending started to get a little bit confusing. It was kind of like, wait, what's actually going on now? And I'm finding with quite a few books, it seems like there's a lot of build up, and then when it gets to like the final chapters, all of a sudden it feels really rushed, like the author's just desperate to get it all out and set everything up. And I feel like sometimes things get a bit lost when that happens. So it is a bit annoying when you're reading a book and you're finding out that it's really not working as well as you were hoping it would. I still am enjoying the story. There was a bit of romance there as well, and it was kind of, I didn't feel that romance building in quite the way that I thought it would. So when one of the characters is like, oh yeah, you're in love with him, it was like, wait, what? They barely know each other. And I'm finding that's something that kind of annoys me a bit with YA, is it seems like they meet and within a week they're in love, and it's like, no, that's not what would happen. Hello, let's have some cuddles. Hello. And it's just kind of like, but that wouldn't happen in real life. It takes time to build that kind of relationship and to build that affection for someone. So I don't know, I just guess it's a bit for me. We're having a cleaning session. So on the plus side, it means that I now have my acceptable in charms done. So I now have only 1 more book to read for charms, and then that's the pass grade that I need for these exams. I do have the book ready for, I do have the book ready that I'm going to be reading. It's Spellslinger. The prompt for Exceeds Expectations was actually to read a graphic novel or a manga or a comic or something like that, or a book that was under 150 pages, but I've used the Confundus charm and I have swapped it out for Spellslinger, which is the group read, and I'm quite excited about that, so I'm going to start this tonight. It's about midnight right now, but I do want to read for about 20 minutes or so and then go to sleep. And then the next update is on the Ace of Shades. I'm now on, well, it's day 2 in the book and 125 pages in. I'm enjoying it. It's quite good, but I'm finding that I'm struggling to get into it in the way that I normally do with books. So we'll see how it develops. I've been assured that it does get better as the book goes on. So yeah, I am looking forward to seeing how that one pans out, but I'm going to start on Spellslinger. It does not pass my attention that they both kind of look similar, and they're both like, this makes me think of a playing card and this has playing cards, and the photos that I've done so far for these ready for Instagram have been playing card themed, so hey, let's hope that I don't start getting the two stories confused with each other. So I went to read Spellslinger yesterday because I finished, what was it I finished? Ink. And I kind of got about 5 pages in and thought that I wanted to try something a bit different for once. So what I did was I put it down, I had a look on some other YouTubers' videos. I will put a link below to those. Mostly it was G from Book Roast. Oh, I've completely lost it, let me just find it. I have 2 phones now, which is awesome, so I can actually reference things as I'm talking about them. Books with Chloe, so Chloe talked about this. Peyton Reads and Fashionably Bookish. All of these people, I watched their video on this subject to get inspiration and ideas, and if you follow me on Instagram, you kind of are probably aware of already of what it is that I'm about to talk about, and that is tabbing and annotating books. I have always been terrified of writing in books. I am still very uncomfortable with the idea of actually physically writing on the pages because, I don't know, I don't like it. But I'm opening up more and more to the idea of books that have people's writing in, and it would be interesting if I was to ever get rid of these books, if someone picked it up and I had all my notes in and see what they then thought of that. But yeah, so I've decided I'm going to do some annotations, and so I ordered this pack online, so it comes with various little post-it notes. I've decided that what I'm going to do is have, oops, that's got water on it, don't know why. I've decided that I'm going to use like the little ones as the actual bits that stick out of the book. And then if there's like a specific thing on a page that I want to highlight, like a quote or a specific line, then I'll use the arrows. And then if there's any actual notes that I want to make, then I will use these ones, because like I said, I'm still a bit scared of annotating on the page itself. But Chloe from Books with Chloe was saying that one idea is to just use these sort of size tabs so you can make your little notes. And I think for the first attempt, that's what I want to do. Going down the colours, currently pink is going to be relationships, aka like if it's romantic or if there's a key moment between siblings, anything that's sort of heartwarming and to do with family and romance. Orange is going to be moments that shock me, so if I am thinking that a story's going one way but then it ends up going completely another, then I'll be like, oh wow, that was cool, I wasn't expecting that. So then that'll be orange. Yellow is going to be a piece that I think is well written. Editing Kirsty here, just to give you a quick update. I've decided that instead of yellow being bits that are kind of like well written, Instead, it's going to represent humorous and funny parts, because I realised that mixing that in with the other prompt for emotional stuff meant that if I was having a bad day and I just wanted to read something to put me in a better mood, then I might have to read quite a few sad things to get to the funny, so I'm going to do them as two separate things. So just letting you know, I have changed my mind and swapped yellow out. So now yellow is humorous and funny scenes. Green is going to be any important information. So for Spellslinger, in the first few pages it talks a little bit about the magic and how the magic works in that world, so that's probably going to get a green little sticker in there, because that will remind me of how everything works in that world. Blue is going to be a quote. Blue is my favourite colour, so it makes sense that my favourite quotes and my favourite sentences will be in my favourite colour. So if there is a quote that I really like, then I will just highlight that and then go back to it at the end of the book, and then I can take out or put in any that I do or don't like. Deep purple is something that bugs me, so if I don't like the way a character is being portrayed, or if there's something that I think's a bit racist or inappropriate, or if it's just like the book suddenly goes a way that I wasn't expecting and I'm not enjoying it, anything like that, that'll be deep purple, because that just means that I've got a big issue with the book. Hopefully there won't be many of these. And then finally, the light purple is going to be anything that conjures up emotions. So if there's a really sad moment, if there's a moment that makes me really happy, if there's a moment that makes me angry, or if the character, like, if anything that makes me have a physical reaction to the page, then that'll be in the regular purple. I have a sneaky suspicion that the pink and the purple are probably going to be the two most common colours. But yeah, that's my scheme for that. I've never done anything like this before. I have no idea how it's going to go, or even if I'm going to enjoy doing it. But I've got a feeling, knowing me and how I like to be organised, and I'm really bad at being organised, but I like to try, I get the feeling that I'm going to get on quite well with this, and I am quite excited to start. So yeah, in a few videos time you'll start seeing little tabs appearing in my books. So I hope you enjoy that as much as I do. I had a bit of an incident last night with my cat. She loves me to bits, but I picked her up to move her and she decided to attack, so I've now got all these brilliantly lovely claw marks on my neck that hurt quite a lot. So thanks, Eleanor, love you too. I started my tabbing last night of my books. That almost sounds dirty, I don't know why. But I was torn whether I should... Oh, that made no difference. I was torn between whether I should start on Ace of Shades, because I was already 100 and something pages in. But then I thought, well, it's 400 pages long, so I might as well start now. So I did, and I predicted that the tabs I was going to use most would be green, green, purple and pink. Green being important information or like foreshadowing, things like that. Purple being something that invokes a physical response from me, like if I start to feel sad, or if I cry, or if I get angry. And then the pink was relationships, love, things like that. And yeah, as predicted, the first two in this book were purple. Out of the first 4 tabs, I've got purple, yellow, purple, green and pink, which are the 3 that I thought I would use. And in Spellslinger we have green, and actually slightly different on that one, it's green, blue and orange. But yeah, with Spellslinger it's kind of like you got important information within the first 5 pages, so yeah. Both books I'm getting on quite well with. Ace of Shades, I'm now on page 185. Spellslinger, I'm now on page 23. And I also decided to change out one of my NEWTS. So the first book in herbology was going to be The Watchmaker of Filigree Street, but then I discovered that Stalking Jack the Ripper has a green cover, so I've changed that out and I've bought Stalking Jack the Ripper on ebook farm for $1. And yeah, so that's really good. I now have that, and I read it for about 20 minutes last night and I was just soaking it in. I was reading it so fast. Also, I'm currently looking for my phone and it is directly in front of me. I'm recording on it right now, so oh my god, I should go back to bed. But I think I'm already about 50 pages into that because it's so good so far and I'm loving it. It's an Audrey Rose, I believe. She's awesome. The only thing I'm a little bit on is how it's kind of coming across as insta-love between her and Thomas, where it's like she's instantly attracted to how dashingly handsome he is. And I kind of don't like those tropes. I like find someone attractive, but I would rather it build up a little bit more rather than it just suddenly being like immediately she kind of can't get him out of her head and she just can't stop thinking. That's not my thing. So yeah, I've also started making a bit of progress on one of my novels. I've got a YA planned that I'm not going to go into details because obviously it's so fresh. But what I am going to say is that I'm drawing from a lot of my own experiences with grief, like when I lost my mum, so my character's going to go through quite a few of the same sort of situations I went through. But there is also going to be like a magical fantasy element. It's not going to be a very fun journey for her. It's going to be quite dark, quite gritty and quite down to earth. And yeah, what I will say is there's going to be LGBTQ representation because my character, haven't decided yet whether I want her to be completely gay or bisexual, but she's going to be one of them because I myself am bisexual and I've never really explored my own bisexuality in my writing. So I thought that'd be really interesting. So I'm toying with the idea of that. And there's also going to be fantasy elements, there's going to be action elements, there's going to be magic in there. And the whole time this is all happening, she's also dealing with the fact that her mum just died and she doesn't quite understand how or why it happened. So yeah, I'm hoping that's going to be quite an intriguing read. I'm not sure yet if it's going to be a standalone or a series, but we shall see. So yeah, that's my day today. I'm going to do a lot more reading. Rob is home, which is amazing because he's now home like 4 days a week instead of being away 5 days a week. And yeah, so I've got some editing to do. And then when he gets back from the shop, we're going to just have some time together and do some decorating in the house. So yeah, have a good day and I'll see you soon.